Thank you, Heather. How do you beat that? Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to come out here today. It means the world to me, especially one of the final good, nice, warm days of the early fall. It really, really means a lot to me, and thank you. Also to Katie and Jenny Colbert for that wonderful rendition of O Canada, and Yvan for the excellent keyboard work. Excellent, and thank you so much. I don't have a long speech, but I got to cover a lot of ground. So I made notes, which is really rare for me. Oh, I'm so happy. So I mentioned I'm very pleased you're out here today. Deeply grateful for you taking the time. I want to talk about a few things today that I think you're going to find interesting. I wanted to talk a little bit about why I'm running for mayor. Why would I bother? I'm a political guy. I've been involved in politics for a very, very long time. It started out when I was 9 years old. And I was 9 years old. My dad was helping a friend of his who was running for Reeve in our township. And he had me hanging out the passenger side of the station wagon, stuffing mailboxes. And back then you didn't need seatbelts. That was 45 years ago. A very different time. I've been involved in community service. I got involved in community service when I was in my late 20s. It's something that, when you do that kind of thing, it's addictive. Once you get involved in a community service organization, first of all, they never let you go. But secondly, you're bitten by the bug, and then you get involved in everything. One thing that community service leads to, and I was a Kiwanian, and I am a Kiwanian, I was a kinsman. I've been a volunteer in every possible organization you can think of that involves charities or fundraisers. Anything that happens, I'm usually involved. So are my brothers. When you get involved at that level in the community, inevitably you get dragged into political campaigns. Because there's always a politician or somebody who's running for a campaign who needs help. They all need help. And they see you. You're out there, you're in the community, you're organizing, and they say, geez, this is somebody I want on my team. So I got started early on in the old Rideau Township. Started working for people who were running for council in the old township. And then running for mayor in the old township. And that led to getting involved in federal campaigns. I think I was in my early 30s the first time I worked a federal campaign. And that led to another couple of different experiences. I went for a federal nomination in 2005, I think, and I won. And then the parties merged, and then I made a decision not to run again. But I also got involved early on in Lisa McLeod's first campaign, so long ago, 10 years? Long time ago. And then her next one, and the next one, and the next one. So that's been a constant for me, the political activity. I've been hanging around so long that it gets sticking in your mind. You see what I see. You see a lot of suffering. You see people really struggling to make ends meet. And you see people who are frustrated dealing with government. And it's a natural inclination. The next step up after you've done your community service and your political apprenticeship, the next step up is you become a candidate yourself. And I'm here for the second time running for mayor. I started five years ago. I started campaigning the first time I ran for mayor, and I never stopped. It's been non-stop for 5 years. I want to say as well, there's nothing unusual about what I've done. This is a standard political resume. Most of the people, actually we have some people here who've been candidates too. Mike Patton ran for office before, and he did a great job. Here's something that probably isn't as evident as it might be. You go through all this, and after a while, it's normal to get a little tired of the push and shove of politics. So you have to find something that keeps you going. You have to find a reason to continue to care about what you're doing. I get these phone calls. I've been telling Heather about this. I get these phone calls constantly. And they're older people, much older. And normally they're older ladies. And I hear these frail little voices on the phone. And I answer the phone. I always answer the phone the same way. I bark out my name. And then I pause, because I figure you're going to say hello. And what I usually get is another pause, because they think I'm a voicemail. I'm going to change the way I answer the phone now to say, Mike Maguire, I'm not a voicemail. So here's what I do. I say, hi, who I am. And then they answer and say, is this the real Mike Maguire? Yes, it's me. It's me, you've got me. And then I hear, usually the script goes like this. It's shocking how often the exact same thing happens. I hear, I don't have any money to give you. And I say, I don't care. And then I hear, I live in an apartment and I don't have a lawn for a sign. I say, that's okay. And then usually I hear, well, I just wanted to call and tell you I'm going to vote for you because you have to change the way things are being done. I said, yeah, I'm going to do that. And I don't want to choke up. Then they always say, God bless. And I say, you too. That's why I keep doing this. I want to discuss the campaign. Here we are, we're part of a campaign. This is the opening of a campaign office, and isn't it cool? Isn't it? Isn't it just a really neat place? After the election, I'll be opening my own line of Mike Maguire at Walmart for your priceless decorating needs. A lot of what we're doing here for this campaign is we're spreading a message. This is a genuine campaign. There is a genuine alternative to business as usual at City Hall. This is the kind of thing that we find ourselves engaged in, a bit of a David and Goliath struggle. We're against a very political machine with enormous money, just staggering amounts of money being brought in by unions and developers. We're against the machine that's just really professional and political and has nothing to say, nothing whatsoever. And here we are out here, and we've got everything to say. Everything we talk about is commonsensical. It makes sense because people are resonating. It makes sense because we talk about hydro and taxes, transit, trash. We're going to be talking about housing, how Ottawa can do a better job for seniors in an aging city, and we're going to be talking about economic development. These are things everyone wants to hear. They don't want to hear about this strange sports commissioner thing or whatever the latest weird obsession with a selfie. Everything that has gone on in the last 4 years of this administration doesn't give me a lot of confidence that it should go on for the next 4 years. We've got to make a change here. We're going to be engaging the media. We're going to be engaging the media to give out details of our plans while pointing out the complete absence of substance in my opponent's plan. We're going to be putting up signs all over major intersections in the city. Now that started today. We've got a pretty good sign crew. And as Heather says, we will not win the sign war, but we're going to do pretty good. You're going to see signs. We've got hundreds of these large signs. They're going to be at major intersections all throughout the city. And that's going to get the message out again. There is an alternative. There's another candidate in the race. All I need is to have somebody listen to me once. And they'll say to themselves, wow, that resonates with me. That makes sense. That's all I'm asking. And I think we're getting a fair shake. I can't complain. The media have been very good to me so far. We've got 4 weeks to go. This is a lifetime in politics, as the old joke is. A week is a lifetime in politics. Well, we've got 4 lifetimes to go, and the campaign is going very well. I'll take one little anecdote here. We had 2 debates last week. The crowds were not necessarily friendly to me. However, the audience watching on TV were friendly to me, and we could tell by the donations that come in after these debates. We had the Carlton U Residents Association debate. Nice kids, they're smart and they're engaged and they want to learn about what's going on in the world. So instead of patronizing these guys with a lot about, well, you need more student vacations or nonsense like that, and in fact that was coming out about student housing, student transportation, I was talking about, look, you're students, that's great, but you won't always be a student. And soon, you're not going to be worried about student housing. You're going to be worried about housing, period. And not student transit, period. It's time to get serious. The Ecology Ottawa debate, surprisingly, it was a lot of fun. I wouldn't have thought it was a natural for me, but we had a lot of new converts there. I had people come up to me after who said, I wasn't sure what to think of you at first, but you're not a scary conservative like I thought. I'm a fiscal conservative, but that can mean a lot of things. Signage, we've got, I actually wanted to take just a second to do a shout out to the sign people who have been so great to us. We've got a professional crew doing the big signs, but we've got all kinds of people who are doing the small lawn signs. We have, I think we're about 1,300 signs out right now. We've got 600 more. They'll probably be gone in about 10 days. We're going to have to go some more again. We can't keep up with the demand. Sam Armstrong is doing signage for us. Mike St. Louis, Jeff Finney, Rob McKellarn, Rob Decker, Dave Paul, Mike Wesley, and Richard Frum. These are guys who are just busting their hump.
Thank you.
2 seconds more on the campaign team as well. Not all the campaign team could be here, but Heather's here. You met Heather earlier. Georgianne Burke is, Heather and Georgianne are my co-campaign managers. Louise Pitava is doing our office. That's Wheezy. Anybody? Jen Geary and Mike Patton are doing communications. Ray Coutu is doing signage and a lot of guidance on other policy. And we've got Brent Colbert. Brent's the dad of the two girls who sang "O Canada." Brent was on the campaign earlier on. He had to leave because he got another job. But his earlier contribution was invaluable. And I also wanted to say one other little thing. I wanted to thank my family, my wife Jen, and my daughters Kira and Mariah. I want to talk about how important this election is. Oh, and my brother Liam.
Took care of you for years.
And our other brother Sean couldn't be here, he's working. He's here in spirit, all right. And my mom couldn't be here, she's gone back to see her sisters. You gotta cover all the bases, right? I want to talk about how important this election is. In my memory, and I'm, as I've mentioned, I'm a political guy. In my memory, I can't remember a municipal election where there was two main candidates who were so opposites. We are the complete opposite of each other. And it is funny, I was actually joking with Watson about this just last week. He says the same thing, and he says it with a scorn, and I say it and I'm smiling. Right you are, my friend. I am the exact opposite of you.
Thank goodness. Hallelujah.
Thank goodness. Our present mayor is a fan of big government. And in fact, he'll even tell you that. He's a fan of more city staff, more borrowing, more bigger budgets, more taxes, more borrowing, more spending. This is pretty appealing for some people because it's a fantasy. It's just the whole thing's crazy. You can't live like that. I'm the complete opposite. I want to see a smaller local government, doing less and costing less. We have to live within our means. We have to recognize that there is a limit to the ability of people to pay for things. And we've reached and exceeded that limit. It's time to recognize a simple fact: there's no more left to give.